Many used to ask me about the same question, why you are very much particular interested in working for women. Uh, uh, it is not the passion what we have, especially what I have, should come from the heart, or some kind of suffering or any kind of bad experience or something would have happened earlier, which also reflects in the life of a woman.
Sexual violence and the treatment of women in India has come to the forefront of the international media since the 2012 gang raping of a woman on a bus in Delhi. In India, it is estimated that 70% or more of the female population experience domestic violence. There have been a shockingly regular number of high-profile rape and often murder cases of women. This reflects a huge issue in Indian society, the treatment of women, often linked to caste, as shown in the latest rape and hanging of 2 young Dalit lower caste girls in Uttar Pradesh.
நான் அந்த பையன் தனியாக நான் தனியாக 5 பேர் சேர்ந்து மீட்டிங் போடணும். நேரம் முடிச்சுட்டு நாங்கள் ஆஃபீஸ் போகணும். அதான் எங்களுக்கு பிளான்.
Mercy tells a story which differs from the mainstream depiction of India. 20 years ago, Mercy had a vision of helping others, particularly women and children in India's South Tamil Nadu. Born as a Dalit herself, the lowest in the caste system, she faced discrimination, poverty and stigmatization. Mercy took on the challenge of overcoming her past and changing the future for women and children for the better. So she started running the Blossom Trust. The Blossom Trust is an Indian grassroots NGO who focus on social and cultural empowerment, health and advocacy for women and children living in Tamil Nadu. Over 90% of the people who work for the organisation are women, who go out into rural communities, get to know villagers and involve them in Blossom's projects.
When I was a child, I was very much affected without having enough money, the poverty status. And also, luckily, I had good education because my father worked in the railways. I got educated in a good school, but I was not a very bright student and all. So that kind of, I was very timid, weak, filled with inferiority complex. I won't talk to anyone. I'll be alone.
My name is Priya. Johnny, yes, Papa. Eating sugar, no, Papa. Telling no, Papa.
Also the color, and I think now I look little bright, but during my childhood I used to be very thin, not much healthy, very blackish color. My sister, whereas she was healthy and plumpy and she looks fair. So even within the family, my relatives, even sometimes my parents, give priority for my sister. Even today. Usually in India they give importance for the boys only in families. So naturally my brother got all the benefits, everything, whatever dress or food or anything, the major portion share will be given to my brother, and the next my sister will somehow she'll grab. The only poor left out child is only me. and no one cares about me also. No one cared about me also. So somehow I managed to, all these things were within my heart and mind.
An estimated 160 million people in India are classified as Dalits, previously known as untouchables. Despite measures to stop the discrimination of lower caste people, many Dalits are still affected by the view that they are deemed at birth as impure and less than human.
I come from a Dalit family, low caste family, where we are not allowed to mingle with others so freely. So this also had an impact in my personal life, because even in any application what we fill in, whether it may be for school admission or for any work, there is a separate box called caste. We have to mention what caste we have. As I told you before, I am very much reluctant. I feel very awkward and embarrassed to write that I belong to a very the low caste community. No, so usually what I say, no, I just look at my friends what she writes, and I'll write that also. When I gave the application to the school teacher, the school teacher in front of everybody, she told me, Mercy, do you belong to this caste? I don't think so. You check with your parents and come. I said, no madam, no teacher, I belong to this upper caste family only, I said. Itself, Satya told. Maybe when I cook buri, you can take, so that will be. Even prepared this when I came to London.
Really?
Yeah, in London. More or less it is ready. Blossom, right from the beginning, it has been working for women, preferably, mostly. First I had in mind that only we should work for women and children, and not for any men. But then slowly began to realize that gender equality should be there. As you said, men also should be made aware. They also should feel their responsibility, their commitment for the family and for the community. In fact, I was a victim of domestic violence earlier, which no one can believe if I say.
When you were a child?
I was a woman, a married woman.
To your husband now?
Yes.
And now that doesn't happen?
No way, because already become old, no? If he beats me, I will die then. He has to go to prison then. So slowly everything changes, no? Actually, we expect that a positive change to happen. But what happens now, there is counter effect. Because of the inferiority complex, what is created among the men, they try to establish their control. Yeah, that's what happens in many women's life, especially the women who earn more or who have good name or reputation in the society. But still, when she comes to house, the husband who may not earn that much of money, or who doesn't have that much of recognition in the society, still controls her. I think in fact the present problem for the working women, no, they have to earn. They have a double role to play: work in the office, work in the family also, take care of the children, husband, and the in-laws. My idea was, when I thought that I should work for women and children, I wanted to address three issues. The first one is the economic development of women. So if women have money in their hand, they can lead a decent life. They will be respected in their own families, by their own family members, even the husband, and in the community also. So I thought, okay, let us organize the women, form into self-help groups, get loan from the banks, get access for credit, then they can start their own business, small business, whatever they can do.
There are approximately 2.4 million people living with HIV and AIDS in India. This is coupled with the highest tuberculosis epidemic in the world. The two diseases often go hand in hand, as many people who have HIV will die of TB as their immune systems are weakened. People who have these diseases, or both, often experience stigmatization in their community, poverty, and severe illness. The Blossom Trust have been tackling the problem of HIV and TB for women and children. Their team of volunteers identify high-risk women who may contract HIV from their husbands. The high migration rates in Tamil Nadu mean that men often seek female sex workers and end up contracting HIV. They then pass it on to their wives and consequently their children when they're born. Blossom works to break this cycle. They first build close relationships with female sex workers, encouraging the use of condoms. They then identify women who may have HIV, get them tested, and ensure that they take regular medication. Finding these women before or at the early stages of their pregnancy means that they are able to provide antenatal and postnatal care and stop the transmission of parent-to-child HIV. When they aren't able to help their parents, Blossom provide a safe and free accommodation for children in their residential centre, the Dayspring Home. The EduClans are a collective of Blossom staff and children from the Dayspring Home and other volunteers who go around rural communities spreading messages about HIV and AIDS, tuberculosis and empowerment. They get audiences together and they do improvised performances which engage and encourage audience participation whilst entertaining at the same time. The EduClowns are able to discuss controversial and difficult issues in Indian society, such as sex and sexuality, the use of condoms, and the ways that you should treat other people.
வேலைக்கிழமை தெரியுமா? வேலைக்கிழமை நீங்க என்ன முக்கியமான நாள் உங்களுக்கு தெரியுமா? பூமியில நிலத்தடி நீர் கம்மியாயும். நிலத்தடி நீர் கம்மியாயிருச்சுன்னு வச்சுக்கோங்க.
பிளாஸ்டிக் பையை ஒழிப்போம்.
பிளாஸ்டிக் பையை ஒழிப்போம்.
ஒழிப்போம் ஒழிப்போம்
ஒழிப்போம் ஒழிப்போம்.
பிளாஸ்டிக் பையை ஒழிப்போம்.
பிளாஸ்டிக் பையை ஒழிப்போம்.
It was not so easy to open topic about sex and sexuality in Tamil Nadu because of the cultural background. So everyone thought EduClowns would be the right team to tell about the HIV/AIDS and how to stop that and how to use condoms and all.
Mercy, join the train!
Mary mom. Hey Mary mom.
So in fact, after these long years, I think if I personally think, means how far I have been able to work for women's development. To an extent, I would say yes, but on the other hand, I have to accept this fact also, that we have given more burden for the women by giving money to them in their hands. No, they have to know how to handle it and use it for the people and for themselves. These computers, introduction of computers, internet, all these kinds of communication, mobile phones, all these have created a change in the lives of women and children. Now we are all well informed. We know what's happening in the other parts of the world, how women are being treated there, how women and children enjoy benefits there, their rights. So we know now a transformation is taking place. But still, I think we have a long way to go. Maybe the next generation would have a different kind of atmosphere to live in here, and maybe definitely a better world for the women and children in the years ahead. You are going to just melt like someone something in a film I have seen. Slowly it will melt out. Even for me. See, my powder now gone. Empowerment, according to my perspective, is one should be able to express herself or himself. She should be able to tell what she thinks openly or without any fear. That itself is the first step of empowerment. Even if you are well educated, even if you earn more, or even if you have a good status in the society, still all people are not successful in expressing themselves. Due to that, they face with so many problems, psychological problems, family problems, sometimes in the whole society itself. That's empowerment is related to, you can just see the link with our vision of blossoming of power in every individual. It should be a total development. The first, your inner development, then your personal development, then the total community development. There should be 3 levels of development, which I term it as an empowerment. That's the real empowerment.